Welcome back, everybody. Higher self communications. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel, although I've tried sometimes. But what I have found for you is a video I was watching of an interview that Alex Ferrari and his channel Next Level Soul did with a lady from England, and her name is Louise Kay. She talks about where we're going, meditation, and how you can slip into higher communication from that. Because your mind has to be still sometimes, or occupied with menial tasks in order for them to get information through to you. So I'm going to link that video below, and I've got it highlighted or bookmarked to watch again. Louise is amazing. She's a very young woman, and she has been doing this work for a long time. And her process that she described is what I do. And so when I was meditating this morning, I got 3 segments of messages, and I've transcribed them because there's so many. I'm allowing that information through comes with pauses, and as I'm adjusting the energy, and so I've written down the information that they gave me, and please take what resonates. They repeatedly say, trust. So let's begin. And they start, trust your experience. Your experience. What you glean, what you get from your life experiences. What's happening for you. There are people who came here to experience fear. What we wish to shine a light on today, what we wish to expose today, is all of the fear propaganda. And they say we're reminding this one, me, of the movie Jaws that came out in the 70s, and how for years and to this day, if this one is in the water and she cannot see what is underneath her, if it's black or deep, she is gripped by fear like a vice because of watching that movie. There are more examples than can be counted of ways fear has been fed to your planet. They wanted me to, I was reminded as that came through, and I've been reminded the past week, of an experience that I had 10 years or so ago of snorkeling with a group in Hawaii, off Kauai. And when we got in the water, I was looking for my son-in-law because he had a life jacket on. He couldn't swim at the time. So he kept trying to deflate, apparently, the life jacket so we could get down closer to the fish, which is really cool. But I was a distance away from him and my daughter, and somebody mentioned that there was a shark. Came up out of the water, took their snorkel off and said, hey, there's a shark, to the guy on the boat. And when I put my head down to have a look around, I saw the shark swimming towards me. And it looked large. And the first thought that came to me, the feeling that came, awareness that came, was the magnificence of this creature. I'd never seen anything like it. It just radiated confidence and peace. And around me there were loads of fish. And this was in probably 50 feet, 60 feet of water. And down there that day, the water was, the entire water column was clear. And so coming towards me from probably 60 or 70 feet away was this, underneath the water was this shark. And of course, after the initial, oh my gosh, was fear. And so I sped back to the boat as fast as I could swim, trying to look behind me all the time. But as I got aboard the boat, and what remained with me was the magnificence of that creature. And yeah, I was afraid. But there was something bigger going on. Now, where we are now, the fear-mongering, the deceit, is now being seen for what it is. Trust. We showed her yesterday another key. She would sit in meditation, hearing us like she does now, and her practice, which is evolving, the meditations that she does whenever she can each morning. She begins with a prayer, and she says the Lord's Prayer because that's symbolic for her. She realizes she is speaking to Abba, to Yahweh, to God, Jehovah, of which you are all a part. And she's understanding this more now, and that understanding will continue and bloom for her and all of you when you are each ready. There is no rush. The key she was given yesterday when she said, or attempted to say, I release all which is not mine. I release all from this chakra or that chakra that is not mine. And in doing so, understands she is releasing trauma not only from her physicality that has accumulated over lifetimes, but from the physicality of all which has accumulated over lifetimes. You are all I. You are all one. And the key she was given was to simply say, I release all. And that's enough. Not put or to remove the limitations, remove the negation, remove the negative, remove, and simply say, I release all. You are the divine experiencing itself. You are your ancestors, you are your parents, releasing, constantly learning to release and return. Turn to the knowing of who you are. Remember, and they say communion is company. The word communion means the entire company of heaven, earth, and all that is. Union. Communion is the community of God, of Source, the community of the I Am. And they say, remember who you are. Fear has been used to keep your awareness small. And they say, no longer. Fear has kept most of you small, kept you away from your truth. And that is just one example. Keeping you away from your truth, that is just one example of what fear can do. Fear is a construct of those trying to control. As a species, as individuals of the Source, of the One, when you are ready and acknowledging, they say, that few will be able to hear this message and understand. And they remind you, take only what resonates. There will be those who have already turned off or clicked on to another video. But for those of you who are remaining, we tell you that deceit will be no more because you will see it. You will recognize it as this one does now. And there is no must. For this is a planet of free choice. In other words, when you're ready, when it resonates, you'll know. You don't have to try. And they say fear energy creates more fear energy. Nothing bad happened when she swam with that large shark. Something magnificent happened. She got to experience the water column, the totality of that, the gift of swimming through the same space as all the different fish and that magnificent shark. And none of the fish in that water were afraid. Were afraid of that shark. They knew who they are. There's nothing to fear. How the lower energy of fear spreads is if it is repeated often enough, it becomes addictive. And they say this one is releasing the fear addiction and is seeing it for what it is and has seen the toxicity that it is. And they remind us again to trust our experiences. You are now in a space and time, this age of Aquarius, which is heralding, and they repeat, we are heralding in truth, in all things. Now, look through all that is designed to propagate fear. And they showed me last Wednesday, when that bit initially came through, they showed me everything around us at the time, in that moment last Wednesday. There's so much that is contaminated with fear. And it is being exposed now. It is being seen. They say that fear causes a response in the body to feel. And that is addictive. Because feeling, when the body feels something, it reminds us that we're alive. It reminds us that we are not just these bodies. And that feels good because it allows us to understand that the body can feel. They say your bodies have been programmed to look for ways to feel fear. And the lower energy ones have profited from this. You are waking. I asked them to use a different word at that point. And they said, you are seeing, feeling now through the lies. The veil is dissolving. And in the dissolving, you are seeing through the programming. It is showing itself for what it is. And they say again, relax and allow. Trust. This is on time, as you would say. Due now. Planetary alignments, they say. Your age of Aquarius is further into the beginnings from the 60s, 1960s. Coming into fruition now. You will all, who are ready, who are able to understand, you will begin to see through lies and deception. You will understand lies and deception is no longer an option. No longer an option to allow yourself to speak untruths. And you will notice it as others will, and it will soon be obvious. The fear, the programming, was allowed. For without it, what you call darkness, contrast, what we call duality, you would be unable to remember who you are. It is part of the game, part of the plan to experience, to play in that sandbox, and then to see, to begin to remember who you truly are, and experience the majesty of walking as your true self while still in your physical bodies. And they said that was all they wanted to say. So thank you for being here. And I'll include that link to Louise Kay with her and when Alex interviewed her. It's brilliant. Have a lovely day, and I hope some of that helps. Take care.